Hello and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV with me, Meoni. Fanfest is literally only a few days away, and they've already put up the Fanfest special items on the cash shop for us to purchase if we so wish to. All of these items, of course, as usual, are optional and offer nothing other than, cosmetic options to the game. There's also a sale on as well. So if you go to the store itself, which I'll link in the top of the description, you'll find the new items as well as all of the new sale items as well. There's a lot on sale, lots of previous years' summer event items, including the new ones from last year added as well. But if you missed out on some of the stuff from previous years, you can definitely pick it up here. This includes everything from emotes, from mounts to swimwear, you name it. But in this video, we're going to be focusing on the new items. If you click on the new items section, you will see that the summer sunset attire and authentic summer bonfire from last year's summer event is actually on here as predicted. They're all at the lowest price possible, so £2.88 each in British pounds. That works out in dollarinos at $5 US. And of course, in euros, that's €3.50, which is actually quite affordable. The outfit is quite nice. We looked at that in a separate video, which I'll link in the description. And we also looked at the bonfire as well. Honestly, not a bad outdoors item. Plenty of light provided by that. But the other items are all brand new. Of course, we have this brand new mount for £22.50. This is account wide, and this mount actually scales much like the STS Fenrir. So, as it says, this mount can travel at the first enhanced level of mount speed in areas where increased mount speed is available. So, this is akin to having a riding map in an area. A lot of people didn't like the STS Fenrir for its controversy in this regard. It's as close to pay to win as they dare, say that it is. I personally disagree. I don't think it's really that much of a big deal. And this is just following in the footsteps or the treads of the STS Fenrir. It is quite a cool looking mount. As you can see, it is two-person. This is account wide. Of course, the other person sits on the back of the tire on top of the sidecar and not in the sidecar. I was kind of hoping that Alpha would be replaced, but I guess no one puts Alpha in the corner. There's a better image from the back. We'll look at the stuff in the game in just a second. But of course, £22.50. Quite a pricey one, but it is account bound, which is the usual sort of price. And bear in mind that whilst the sale is on for FanFest, quote unquote, there is actually a recommended price that they will normally have this available for, supposedly. In dollars, that's $33.30. And in euros, that is €28.80. So if you want to get a hold of this, then you're going to be paying a little bit extra for that account-wide benefit. It is a really cool looking mount though. We'll have to look at that in just a sec. Other new items include a emote. This is the Advent of Light emote, which, we might as well watch their little preview. Okay. So on their preview, they have a YouTube video, sort of putting me out of a job here, which is kind of like a superhero landing. Yeah, basically, that's what it looks like. You jump up and then you land. Yeah, superhero landing. That'll cost you £3.63 in the United Kingdom, or $6.30 in America, or in euros that works out at $4.41. So bear that in mind. Then we have some emotes. You can buy these individually. They're exactly the same as the other cheer emotes, cheer on, etc. that we've already had in the game before, but they are recolored. Or you can buy a full pack of those. The pack is €3.15. The individual emotes are $1.26 in euros. In dollars, that's $1.80 per emote, or $4.50 for all three. And in Great British pounds, that works out at £2.59 for the whole set, or £1.04 for just one. Now, obviously, this mathematically makes sense to buy the pack rather than the individual ones, because you'll end up spending more individually than you would on the pack, which I suppose is the whole point of this. Then there's also 2 orchestrion roll sets. Now this isn't just one orchestrion roll, this is a set of music. The first one is the Eorzean Symphony orchestrion set. This has got some really cool pieces of music in it. The Shadowbringers orchestral version, Endcaller orchestrion, Your Answer, Close in the Distance, fantastic song, and the Final Day orchestral version. Definitely something I've got my eye on. It is £7.77, all the sevens, or $13.50, or in euros, that's $9.45. And additionally, what might be more up your alley, perhaps, is the second set of the Pulse music. I have already purchased this because I love the Pulse album. We have Unbreakable, Equilibrium, Beauty's Wicked Wiles, which is a banger of a track, I Am the Sea, and A Long Fall, all Pulse remixes. That'll cost you €9.45, which is again $13.50. Or, of course, in Great British Pounds is £7.77. Now, if you were to buy all of these items, at least in Great British Pounds, that's over £45, I believe, something like that. So this is quite an expensive thing if you wanted to get everything. Let's go into the game and at least look at the mount and emotes then. Alright, here we are in the actual video game, and we're still waiting, unfortunately, for the mount to be delivered. Count-wide mounts always take a little bit longer, but I believe the other items have been delivered. So let's look then, starting at the bottom first. Let's have a look at Advent of Light together. This is the Heroic Landing emote. It says, an illustrated manual on how to make a suitably grand entrance to any social function. So this is the /Advent of Light emote. Right at the bottom, next to Sheath Weapon for me, is Advent of Light. Now, it says that you can only use this while standing, and the other one, so you can't use this underwater or anything like that, which is unfortunate. You'd also do /Advent, apparently. Interesting. Right, well, let's see what this looks like together. Oh, we're preparing to jump. Whoa! Dragoon jumped and then fisted the floor. I like the sound effects with this, actually. Let's turn the sound effect volumes up so you can get a good idea of that. Let's also zoom out a bit so you can see the full size of that. And off she goes. Oh, that's gonna hurt. I guess if we were a superhero, though. How far do you end up jumping? I need to zoom out maximum distance. Oh, even at UAV Online distances, I guess your character just kind of disappears. Oh yeah, look, she sort of disappears into like this weird netherworld halfway through. Huh. It's quite nicely done, actually. I'm surprised at that. Well, I'm not surprised that she disappears, but how nicely they've done that. So the potential G-post for this is quite high. Obviously, people could pause this in different elements. That's going to look great for pictures. What's missing from this is special effects making it look like the ground is cracked. I was kind of hoping that would be part of that. And obviously it's going to look better depending on if your character's like wearing gear. It does look like there is a special effect though, because if you move around in G-pose, you see the dust. So there is actually like dust forming from it. So that's something, I suppose. It's not a bad emote. Oh, that's a cool pose. I'm not really sure if that suits what my character's wearing right now. It looks a little bit weird. It looks like I'm some kind of weird demented frog at this point, but there we go. But yeah, so that's the emote, which is the same on any race, so we don't have to worry about looking at other races. Let's have a look at one of the other items then. So these are the orchestra rolls. I don't know if we can physically play samples from all of those because of the copyright infringement, so we might walk past those. Then we also have the 3 other emotes, right? Of course, we already have stuff like Cheer Wave, which is yellow. We have Cheer On, which is blue. We have Cheer Jump, which is the red one. Now we have Cheer Jump Green, which is basically exactly the same animation as you could just see as we toggled between that. Look. So from red to green. I really like the green, actually. Really, really nice neon green. It's like a Miku concert or something. Then we've got, obviously, Violet Cheer Wave. The previous Cheer Wave was yellow. Follows on. I really like that, actually. Those are some nice, vibrant colors. So when they're doing some FanFest events this week, we can cheer on from the comfort of our video game, because not many of us got to go. And then we got Cheer On Bright, which honestly is just bright white crystals at this point. So we went from blue to just straight up white. Yeah, obviously these things are going to look better in a dark area. Yes, you can't get much darker than the inside of your house. Well, you can. It's called nighttime, but that involves waiting. So yeah, they look really good actually in the dark, don't they? I do like these. I think they're a great, addition. I do end up using the cheer emotes that we had already in the game more often than I ever thought I would. So I really like that pink one actually, the violet. That's really nice. The white one, I'm not so sure. I really don't know. It's just a bit generic, isn't it? A bit basic, bit boring, really. Whereas you've got like bright violet and green. Yeah, the green and violet are definitely my favorites out of the whole lot now. Very cool stuff. Right, let's move on from emotes. All right, finally, about time. It's only taken 7 million years, but we finally get the mount delivered. So, yeah, your mileage may vary, whether you will get this within the first hour or in fact, the first day of actually purchasing this. Yeah, it's a bit slow, but there is a lot of people purchasing this. So this is account-wide. This is the Garland GLIS ignition key. What better place than inside the Grand Cosmos during the day, because it never changes, in our Explorer mode, because of course we can use mounts in Explorer mode. Let's start here, and then hopefully by the time we've recorded a bit, we can fly around in it. So this is the mount. It says, summon forth your Garland GLIS fitted with a sidecar to carry a trusty sidekick. A variant of a Garland GL1, or I, this Magitech vehicle is fitted with a sidecar to allow for 2 riders, with engine displacement increased to handle the additional weight. Comes with a life-size mascot lovingly crafted by Wedge, but strictly for a limited time only, and then while stocks last. So I'm not sure if this mount is going to be limited time. Honestly, there's a limited time sale, but I don't know if the mount is going to be, disappeared after a certain time. This is a 2-person mount, so we'll have someone else in a moment to have a look at this. But this is what the mount looks like. Ooh, it's got a very interesting noise when you summon it. And sort of as it flies away. Very interesting. I expected a slightly different noise. So one of my pet hates with the other motorcycle in the game is the acceleration and the fact that she never changes gears. So we'll have a look at that in just a second. This is a really beautiful motorbike. But I don't know if you like motorbikes, but sidecars, motorbikes, I love this kind of tech. It reminds me of Final Fantasy VII in a bigger way, probably, than anything else, with all that kind of... It's kind of like that Neo 50s look, isn't it? It's also similar to what they do in the Fallout games as well, with the sort of 50s styling, but like modern takes on them. The same kind of DNA is sort of flowing through this mount as well. I love the indicator, well, the light on the back there, or indicator light. I love like the cerulean engine with the exhaust rattling away. The mudguards on the front there. The tires are like hexagonal, which is interesting, which also reminds me of Omega slightly. It's like a Omega tire treads. The indicators on the front there and a big headlight. What a beautiful mount, honestly. And then you've got Alpha sitting in the sidecar going, hello. Oh man, if you haven't done the Omega storyline in Stormblood, please go and fix that. It is a fantastically heartwarming story. So, at low revs. Oh, that sounds interesting. That's really not what I expected the motorbike to sound like. Let's whack the volumes up. Is it better than... I don't know. I guess. I like the idle sound more, the rattling of the exhaust. It does kind of just sound like a load of gears spinning rather than... I don't know. I think that they could have probably sampled a motorbike, you know? Maybe that could have been a thing they could have done. I don't know. I do like the Adventurer satchel on the back here. It does remind me of that Vieira from the recent storyline. Aaron Vile, his backpack. I said that we should have that as a fashion accessory at some point, a big rucksack, but it's nice to see that it's been added to this bike. It's a cool looking bike, honestly. The sound effects, I don't know. Are they irritating? I think most people are going to have them set to a pretty low value though, right? Not many people are going to have their volumes up super high. I do like the idle sound effect though. I think it's great. So in terms of music for the mount then, because that's the other question that everybody has. Well, I have. Oh, interesting. That is unique music. That's nice. Yeah, I'm a massive fan of that. Having unique music that's not just the generic stuff is always nice. That is nice to have in the background. I guess there's like an anniversary celebration as well. That goes quite well. It feels very sort of homely, warm, and celebratory. And there's everything to celebrate this week, isn't there? Right, let's go to somewhere where we can fly around then. Alright, so whilst we're waiting for the sun to come up so we can get some proper daylight shots, I thought it would be really cool to see what this looks like at night with all of those illuminated headlights, the cerulean engine on the side there with that orange circle, and the tail lights as well, looking really, really cool. Yeah, this... Oh, man, I really wish we had, like, the Final Fantasy VII van, like the back open sort of thing van. Maybe in a future collaboration with the remake or something, that would be really cool. Just realized my character's foot doesn't touch the floor, but let's not worry about that too much. Yeah, very cool at night. Very cool indeed. All right, here we are in the beautiful Azim Steppe, and let's have a look at this then. How does it work with the other person? So if Fran wants to get aboard the wonderful mount, then we can see how her character sits on this. So as you can see, not in the sidecar, not the most comfortable of places to sit, or should I say kneel at this point, quite honestly. I can't imagine that being a very safe or pleasurable place to sit, but that's where the other player will sit, on the back of the sidecar, what's alpha, the mammoth that's not actually alpha gets all of the comfort. So you're hanging on for dear life there with a single knee, basically, all of your weight on a single knee, which is quite funny, actually. I think that's quite brilliant. But yeah, I suppose where else would you I suppose you could have sat on the, I don't know, the satchel or something. But yeah, that is absolutely brilliant. And it's not what anybody expected. So of course, what's Fran is stuck on the back of this. As we're moving around, let's see what it's like in the air. So as it takes to the sky, you'll notice something interesting about Alpha. He jumps up and goes, yeah, queer. Basically, he's very happy. He doesn't do it when he's landing, but he does it when he takes off. He stands up and he's very happy about the whole fact. Like, yeah, off on an adventure. Fantastic stuff. So in terms of flight then in the air, it's basically as if it was on the floor. It's got a bit of a glide animation where it wobbles back and forth, as you can imagine. Cerulean powered. Try not to think too much about a flying motorcycle. We've already, we've got a lot harder to explain things in the game already. One of the things, though, that is going to be a surprise is, can Fran hang on whilst being underwater. Blob, 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 blob. There's no way that would be possible, but there we go. It's magic. It's just, a wizard did it. A wizard did it. It looks fantastic, though. I'm really happy that this mount was added to the game. A lot of people are going to probably be questioning this one based on its price, but I think it's about natural for that sort of price, considering other mounts we've had before. Alright, it's the part of the video where we talk about scaling. Now, specifically, one of the biggest characters in the game is a Hrothgar, apart from a Rogadin, obviously, and one of the smallest is, obviously, a Lalafell. So, in terms of scaling, this is what happens. Essentially nothing, which should come as a bit of a surprise to many, actually. I'm surprised that there is no scaling employed whatsoever with this mount. I thought there would be, but there really isn't. So it's basically whatever size, regardless of your character. And as you can see, the Lalafells, the way they sit on the bike, if it stops disappearing as I go into this camera mode, they sort of like lie forwards across the front of the bike, which is quite funny and looks really bizarre, actually. And then obviously we've got the Hrothgar over here, barely fitting on here. With that's gonna hurt as well, like the tail draped on a hot exhaust pipe. Oof, that's gonna be a fire hazard. Okay, that aside then, I mean, one of the other comparisons would be, the closest thing to it would be the other mount, the Garland GL2, which does scale, which is the bizarre thing about this. So the GL2 does scale, which of course is from Island Sanctuary, but the GL1 does not. Interesting. And of course we've got 3 bikes in the game. The other one is the STS Fenrir, which shares the map speed increase, like that one. But yeah, how exactly a Lalafell fits on the back of this, and we'll also look at the biggest character as well. So the Lalafell is just gripping on, gets all of the feet on, as opposed to with Franz Mikote, where the legs were sort of hanging off. And then the other way around, surely the feet are going to drag on the floor. Oh my goodness. Okay, so to avert that eventuality, they are so tall. There is no way when I brake suddenly that you're not just going to get catapulted into orbit. I love that. I actually love that in so many different ways. It's awful, but brilliant. Oh dear. Well, there you go. If that answers the question of how does this mount scale like that. They are also account bound. It's a nice one. A two-person account bound mount with the added bonus, of course, of having a +1 to every area of map. So like if you were creating an alt character on a new server or something to play with friends, or you were starting out, if you were to use this, you would get the movement speed bonus. But also, because it's a 2-person mount, that means that you and a friend will have a much happier time leveling through the game, which is really cool, actually, especially if you haven't got riding maps and things, or the time to do that, or the levels to do that. But yeah, let me know what you think about this one. I'm personally very happy with the music track. I find it entertaining where the passenger sits, even though that is incredibly unsafe. And who doesn't love Alpha? If you don't like Alpha, then I guess please leave. At this point, he's fantastic. He's a baby. He needs all of the love and attention, but he's all he deserves. Anyway, much love. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Fanfest week. Hopefully Fanfest blows us away, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!